Hello, FemCity members. I am Violette de Ayala. I'm the founder of FemCity, and you're joining me today for our Tuesday business series. I was going to say Wednesday, but it's not Wednesday yet. You might notice that there are little wonky things going on over here. So Kim, who is on our panel for today, is having some tech issues. We're just going to move forward with it. So hopefully you can just hear her advice when it's her time to share, because she's always bringing great advice to the table. But I'm super excited. Today we're going to talk about sales, how to convert leads into sales. It is a huge topic. And a matter of fact, I'm thinking about doing a masterclass in October with our global members just on sales, because we only touch upon it when we do these business classes, like in 20 minutes. But the reality is, I think we need a whole entire day on sales. So I'm working on that for October. I have Christi, who is one of our FemCity FemCity Global members. She's joining us today for the first time over here in the classroom. And if you are joining us live, we'd love for you to ask questions. We are collectively and collaboratively here for you. We want you to grow your sales. That is literally our intention. We want to see you make a lot of money, have great opportunities. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And I will ask on your behalf to our experts. If you're watching the replay, because many of you I know watch the replay in the FemCity library and like to binge on that content, don't feel like you missed the opportunity to reach out to Christi and Kim or myself. We are here for you. So let's go ahead and get started. Christi, share a little bit about your background for those femmes that don't know you, especially when it comes into the play of sales.
Okay. So again, Christi Norfleet. So my business is Confluence Business Solutions, and I work with small businesses and entrepreneurs around bringing automation and marketing and business strategy into their company. So obviously sales is a huge part of that. So whether we're talking about how to develop a proper follow-up or how to build processes that support the infrastructure and the growth of your company, all of that stuff sort of fits into the work that we do. And we use a tool called Keep. So it is a super powerful tool that helps you support all of the things that you do around nurturing your customers and taking good care of them. And what do you do to generate those customers? How do you move them from a place where they're like curious about who you are to ready to buy and take action with you? So that's a little bit about, who I am. And I've been in business for, I think, 7 years. So new to the Roanoke, Virginia area. And that's actually how I found out about FemCity. So
Awesome. Yeah, Roanoke is one of our biggest chapters. We always give love to Beth Bell, who runs our chapter over there. I love that you touched upon that, because that is really what's going on with a lot of our members. They know people know about them, but they're trying to get them into that process of converting that lead into a sale. So I'm so glad you mentioned that. Kim, I know femmes already know you, but just share a little bit about your background, upside down as you are, for femmes that don't know you.
So hi, I'm Kim, the upside down extraordinary word ninja. And it's a good thing I'm not upside down in real life, because I think my head would be kind of spinning right now. But
yeah.
I'm also the head of RTI Publishing, and I've been an entrepreneur for 26 years now. My daughter just turned 28, and she was 2 when I started as an entrepreneur. So I've had a lot of experience in sales, from selling small items like lipsticks and makeup, right up to selling, $10,000 packages. So I'm really excited for today's conversation, because it took me a long time to learn some of these skills. And now I realize that it didn't need me to take me very long at all. I just needed someone to teach me. And I spent a lot of years learning things the hard way. So if I can impart knowledge to people so they don't have to spend the years like I did, yeah, I'm glad to be here.
I love that you share that. That's literally why I started FemCity. I know many of you already know that story, but I made all the mistakes possible, literally every single one. And I always envision myself helping other people so they wouldn't make the same mistakes that I did. So I love that you shared that piece of love right there. All right, so let's dive in. As every time we gather in this kind of space, we want to go ahead and just jump into the tips. So, Christi, what is the best way FemCity members can convert leads into sales?
Okay, so I have 2 different sort of approaches to this in my own mind. So number one, the part that I think about from a tangible, how do you actually organize your thoughts, your process, and your business strategy or approach to it, is to be asking yourself and your business, your team, these questions. How are you engaging your leads? So like, how do you know when a prospect is ready to buy? Are they visiting your pages? Are they visiting your website? Are they opening certain kinds of emails? Are they scheduling appointments? Are they clicking on things? Are they taking advantage of free resources? And then asking yourself, like, what are you doing when people are starting to do those things in your business to help take them along a little journey? So if you are sending them valuable content as a prospect and they're clicking on your content and they are engaging with and consuming the things that you have to offer, then it's going to give you some signs and some clues that this is somebody who's really interested in what you have to offer. So that's like, so basically, like, long story short of it is, create processes in your business that are going to give you the ability or the upper hand to know who to focus your efforts on. Where do you set your priorities so that your time is best spent? Because otherwise, if you look at, say you've got 100 leads and you have no idea where to start, you're just going to start at the top of the list and you may not make it to the bottom, and that may be where your hottest leads are. So being able to separate out those people that are in your prospect list that are most ready to buy from those that are still maybe trying to learn about you, or maybe they aren't ever ready to buy and they're really just interested in your free resources. And then the other side of that is, for me, and this is the like more personal part, so less about teaching and more, I think, just about, this is how it works for me, is that I'm real and I'm me. And I've read lots and lots and lots of books about sales, and I feel like maybe when I first started my business, I was not super stoked about sales. And I think that's probably true for a lot of business owners. And so I did lots of trainings and I signed up for lots of coaching and I read lots of books. And at the end of the day, like, the thing that I have found that works the most or the best for me is to be real and to be authentic. And the question that I ask every time, and also throughout the customer journey, is, how can I serve you? And if the role that you're playing is to be of service to your customer, and it doesn't matter if you have a product or a service-based industry, that question, if you're able to bridge the gap between you and somebody who's potentially buying, then that's where you're gonna make the difference. And you have the greatest potential to build a customer relationship over the long haul.
So I wrote down some notes listening to you share. One thing that stood out, rather a couple of things that stood out, but the first one is, you mentioned maybe you have 100 people that are, whether it's in your email list or in your social media, and all of those people are at different points of getting closer and closer to making that purchase from you. Right. I think it's really great, because a lot of times I know femmes will say, well, I have 100 and then 100 aren't going to buy. They didn't buy, so I'm upset. I'm going to close this business. But what you're really saying to us as an expert in this field is, some people are more ready. They're more warmed up. They've actually had some connectivity with you. They've learned about you, and perhaps they're now ready to make that purchase. And not everybody is going to be there at the same time. And then you nurture it different. Let me go ahead and go back to this. Oh my gosh, go to this one. So I love that you mentioned that, because I think that's a lot of frustration right there, is that women like, oh my gosh, I have 100 and then, only 2 bought. So I love that you shared that. And I love also you connected the sales part with the service part. And for me, that was a huge part. I didn't want to do sales when I started my first business. It was a personal training business in 1994. And I did not want to sell, right? I'm not a salesperson. I don't want to be icky and spammy and salesy. The reality is that when I focused on the benefit of me being the trainer, helping them with their back injuries, helping them with their arthritis, when I went into that space, I sold packages because I was focusing on the service. And I think that's a really big aha moment for many femmes who are feeling icky about sales. If you redirect that conversation and you realize it's really about how you can impact and help others in a very big positive way, then that sales ickiness goes away.
And I think that the two pieces go hand in hand. So if somebody's reading your emails and they're clicking on your content and they're taking your classes, or whatever it is that you're doing, then you already know that they know a little bit about you and that they have an interest in what you're doing. And so it kind of like it brings you further ahead in the conversation, so that it's a lot easier to say, let me know how I can help you. I want to be there to support you in your business. So
love it. Love it. All right, let's go to Kim. Kim, what is your Best advice for converting leads into sales. I'm going to go back to the other one. It's going to look wonky, guys. She is not upside down. It's just her video. Go ahead, Kim.
So first of all, I love the fact that Christi talked about, when you're using automated systems and how you do the conversion. But if you don't have those automated systems, like if you're not ready for the technology yet, and not everybody is, right? There comes a stage when you're ready for the technology. But sometimes when you're first beginning or you're in your first few years, you might not be ready for technology yet. And that's okay. But one of the things that I teach in my book, Author to Authority, which is coming out soon, is I spend 2 chapters on sales. Because if you want to be the authority in your niche, you have to be able to sell. So I have a very simple sales system that comprises 4 steps. So the first is prospecting. So, I'm not going to talk about that here because in this conversation, we're talking about going from leads to sales. And one of the biggest ways, and it's completely old school, and it works. I sell packages. Most of the packages I sell doing this system. And that is just having those conversations. Generating that lead, having those conversations with them. So there's 2 things I want to focus in on is the conversations themselves and the fact that you have to do the follow-up. If you want to show that you are that go-to expert and make it easier to sell packages, then when you have those conversations, your entire focus is on the person that you're talking with. It's not about selling the package. It's about finding out what that person needs and how you can best help them. And sometimes the best way that you can help them is not to sell anything to them at all. You might not be the right person for them, but you don't know that until you have those conversations. And I've had people who I have denied and said, you know what, I'm not the right person for you, but go see so-and-so because I know so-and-so is the right person for what you need. And they refer business back to me. Why? Because I didn't take their money.
Yep.
And I made so much more money off the referrals they gave me because I was honest with them. So when you're having these conversations, ask good questions. Talk to them. Find out what their needs are. Find out what is that big problem that's holding them back. And here's something that, I have been taught is wrong, but I have found it is the best sales way you can. Give them the answer. Now, I'm not talking about you give them your services or your product for free. Okay, so don't misunderstand. I'm not saying give everything away for free. I don't give away my book packages for free. But my knowledge, that I give away for free. And I share with people how the answers to the questions that they have. I will go into great detail if need be, whatever that person needs. And then when you've done this enough, okay, so in the beginning, you might make some mistakes. That's okay. You've got to practice. One thing that Jim Rohn said, which completely changed my sales, was the fact he talked about on a CD once that baseball players who strike out 7 out of 10 times make millions of dollars. So I made it my goal to strike out 7 out of 10 times. Right? So if you can do that, so in the beginning, but there comes a point when you start to know that the person's ready to move forward. And that's when you can do like a test close. You don't go right in for the sale, but you ask a question that's starting to move them in that direction. And you're trying to get a sense of, so what are you thinking about right now? Or you can, I usually do this after I've kind of presented my package and service. And I'll just kind of say to them, if it's not a resounding yes, I want to move forward. It's kind of like, what are you thinking right now? And they'll usually tell me, I don't have the time, or I don't have the money, or I don't know what to write the book about. Those are the 3 ones I get consistently. Okay, you don't have the time. Okay, that's great. That's why I created this package, because I know you don't have time, right? And then I explain what the time requirements are. I don't have the money. Okay, so you don't have the whole money right now, but what if I could create a payment plan for you that worked? And those kinds of questions really gauge how serious a person is.
Yeah. And also, I love that you, and by the way, so Danielle says, I'm seeing you upside down. She's upside down for all of us as well. It's a tech issue on her side. She's not physically upside down. She's just visually upside down. I love that tip there, because a lot of times our members will get that no and then kind of like close that door. And I love that you're taking it a little bit further and realize those are the 3 no's that you get, so that you're prepared to say, I totally get it. Would this help? Would this be of benefit to you? And again, being of service, coming across from that point of service. So absolutely love that. All right, so we're going to start wrapping up. If you have any questions, please post them now. Christi, what is your final advice for those femmes that want to drive up sales? We have now, I hate to say it, we're closing in at the end of the year. It's going to be October in a couple of days. I can't believe it. But what about those femmes that are really trying to finish the year strong financially? What would your advice be for them when it comes to sales?
If you don't have your Black Friday, Small Business Saturday plan set, start now.
Yeah.
So I have a blog coming out, I think like today or tomorrow. I can't remember when I scheduled it, but it's coming out, and it's really about Black Friday planning. And basically, like, if you smell pumpkin spice in the air, then you need to have your Black Friday Small Business Saturday plan written out, like maybe not implemented just now, but ready to roll.
Love it. Yeah. Forecasting. I love that. You know what? And I try to do that with the global members. I get a list from PR teams of like the themes coming up, like November is this theme and this theme. So I post it there because to think ahead, so you can create those campaigns and the marketing strategies before it shows up tomorrow, right? Like you want to start doing it today. Excellent advice, Christi. And Kim, your final advice.
Zig Ziglar, Jim Rohn, all of those oldie goodies. There's a saying, the fortune's in the follow-up. The other thing is they might not be ready right now, but just because they're not ready right now doesn't mean they won't be ready in the future. Yep. So when that lead just says, I just can't do it right now, right? Don't wipe them off. Email them, keep in contact with them, tag them in social media, find posts that they would find helpful. Keep them in mind, because here's what's happened, and it's happened to me, and I've been guilty of it. I didn't follow up. So I had quite a few podcast guests who had said, I'm kind of thinking about doing book, and I never followed up with them, and I'm connecting back with them now because of my book, and they've published a book, and I'm like, okay, that was a missed opportunity. Why? Because I didn't follow up with them. I didn't stay in their minds, right? Yep. So when somebody else approached them, I wasn't there for them to go, no, Kim's the one I want to work with, right? Yep. So follow up. Keep them in mind. Be helpful. Be useful. And then when they are ready, you are going to be the person they're going to turn to.
Excellent tip. And that even goes for networking. I know one of my favorite tips to give our FemCity members is when you're networking, follow up. Like when someone is like, gives you their card, or now it's a digital card, or you meet them at a virtual networking event with FemCity, wherever it is, follow up is key. I don't know how many times I've asked someone and I don't have their contact information, to reach out to me for an opportunity. And then 4 or 5 months later, they're like, oh, remember that quote you wanted me to give you about printing? And I'm like, yeah, that was 4 months ago, and I already printed that project, and it's already out, it's already done. So follow up in all areas is huge, huge, huge. All right. Thank you so much, Kim, for that advice. Christi, how can femmes find you to learn more about the work you're doing in this world?
I can, so visit my website, confluencebusinesssolutions.com, and I will share that in the comments so you guys can visit and sign up for newsletter, whatever you'd like.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We'll add that in the notes as well. And Kim, upside down, not in real life, but in digital. Kim, how can femmes find you, learn more about the work you're doing in this world?
So my book, Author to Authority, is coming out soon. I would love for everyone to have the first 2 chapters for free. So you can go to www.author2authority.com/get-the-book.
Love it. Love it. I love that you always do that in a sing song, because I'm like singing it with you as you do it. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Our expert forum will be up very soon. Okay, let's see. We have some love. Follow up is my biggest weakness. Denise, now you got it. Now you're going to go ahead and put it in that notebook. You're going to put it in a time block together. I used to spend maybe like an hour, 2 hours a week following up when I was starting to grow FemCity. Every Friday, I would follow up with all the contacts and send over things just to kind of stay in the front of their mind. So I love that you shared that. Thank you. You'll be an inspiration to others that are watching this later on. Back to what I was saying. Our expert forum is going to be up soon. So if you do want to book some time with our experts, we'll have that available for you, hopefully in October. And until then, if you haven't tried out FemCity yet, head over to FemCity.com. We have a free 30-day trial membership ready for you. And we will see you again this week. I was going to say, we're back tomorrow. We have back tomorrow over on Instagram, though. But wish you guys a great rest of the week. Thanks. Bye.
Bye, everyone.